Welcome to today's video, where we'll dive deep into some of the most controversial secrets and conspiracies surrounding the church. For centuries, religious institutions have held powerful sway over society, shaping culture, beliefs, and history. But what if there's more beneath the surface? From mysterious documents to hidden agendas, these theories have fueled discussions, debates, and deep curiosity. Stick around, because we're about to reveal some of the biggest conspiracies that many believe the church has been hiding from us. Today, we're diving deep into the origins of control and authority, exploring how ancient myths may have been strategically reshaped over time to serve entirely different purposes. Take the ancient Sumerians, for example. Their mythology was rich, intricate, and in many ways, remarkably progressive. In their stories, humanity wasn't seen as inherently flawed or sinful. The gods didn't demand blind obedience. Instead, there was a reciprocal relationship between gods and humans, a balance where each had a role to play. But as these stories were adopted by later religious systems, something fundamental shifted. The Hebrew texts, which would later become the Old Testament, incorporated many of these Sumerian narratives, but altered them significantly. They stripped away layers of nuance and the idea of divine balance, emphasizing obedience, submission, and the authority of a single dominating God. This wasn't just a simple retelling, it was a rebranding of divine law with a political agenda. In Sumerian mythology, there were multiple deities, each with unique personalities, and no single god controlled all others. Even Anu, the supreme deity, wasn't an all-controlling ruler. The idea of one overarching authority wasn't central to their worldview. Now let's dig even deeper. Unlike later religious narratives, the Sumerian gods didn't micromanage every aspect of human life. Sure, Enlil had his moments of destruction, but he didn't demand complete subservience. Enki, on the other hand, actually encouraged knowledge, independence, and even a bit of rebellion. To the Sumerians, divinity wasn't about control. It was about coexistence, a relationship with humanity that promoted growth and survival. But with the rise of monotheism, especially within early Hebrew culture, there was a major shift in the nature of divine authority. Gone was the diverse council of gods with individual motives. Instead, we see the emergence of a single, all-powerful God, both creator and judge, ruling with absolute authority. So, why the change? Consider the implications: a centralized singular God who demands total obedience and punishes dissent. This kind of deity perfectly aligns with a system of control, particularly in societies moving toward kingship and empire. What better foundation for authority than a religion requiring complete loyalty, not just to the deity, but to the human powers claiming to represent that deity? And this transformation wasn't accidental. Scholars believe these shifts in religious narratives were deliberate, shaped by political and priestly classes to reinforce their own power. Religion became more than faith. It became a tool for control. We can really see this shift in authority when we look at the biblical flood narrative. In Sumerian myth, the decision to destroy humanity wasn't uncontested. Enki defied the decree to wipe out humankind, saving humanity because he believed they deserved to survive. There was tension and a divine protector who valued human worth, but in the biblical version, that dynamic is gone. There's no divine figure stepping in to save humanity, only Noah obedient, chosen by God to be spared while everyone else perishes. The story shifts from a tale of compassion and intervention to one of compliance. Obey and be saved. Question and be destroyed. The consequences of this shift are profound. Without a figure like Enki, the message of independence and knowledge fades, replaced by one of obedience. It creates a hierarchy where the priestly class, the interpreters of divine, will hold the keys to salvation. When access to divine knowledge is controlled, so are the people. The structure of the Hebrew Bible reflects this power dynamic, where God's will is presented as absolute, and deviation is met with severe punishment. This was a major departure from the Sumerian worldview, where gods had individual motives and humans had agency, even the freedom to challenge or negotiate with the divine. This rebranding of ancient myths wasn't just about spiritual beliefs, it was about consolidating control. Imagine the priests and rulers of early Israel looking at Sumeria's rich mythology and seeing narratives that could be reshaped to support a more centralized system, a system where one God means one truth, one law, and one ruler. It's efficient, powerful, and demands absolute loyalty. With this new theology, challenging the status quo wasn't merely a question of authority, it was seen as defiance against God himself. We can see traces of this political move in the commandments and laws throughout the Old Testament, where obedience isn't just encouraged, it's enforced by the threat of divine wrath. The Sumerians didn't have this rigid, fear-based relationship with their gods. Their myths allowed for gods who made mistakes, disagreed, and could even be persuaded by humans. But in the Hebrew texts, that balance is shattered. We're introduced to a God who doesn't negotiate, a God positioned as the ultimate authority, a perfect fit for a centralized government or ruling class. And this shift wasn't unique to Israel. Similar patterns appear across other ancient civilizations, where myths were adapted to support systems of control. To fit the needs of the ruling elite, ancient civilizations often shaped their myths and gods to support authority. In Egypt, pharaohs were considered divine. In Rome, emperors were deified, and in Greece, the pantheon of gods reflected the political structures of the city-states. But with the Hebrew Bible, we see the beginning of a full transformation, a shift from polytheistic storytelling to strict monotheism, where one God represents an unquestionable authority. What does this tell us? It suggests that the biblical stories weren't written solely for spiritual guidance. They were also powerful tools of social engineering, uniting people under one God, one law, and one governing system. By taking Sumerian myths and removing the layers of multiple deities and cooperative divinities, this new monotheistic framework could enforce a rigid structure with no room for negotiation. And that's a big difference. A God who demands obedience is much easier to control than a pantheon that allows for bargaining, understanding, and even defiance. This wasn't just about religion, it was about control, loyalty, and the consolidation of power. When we strip away the layers of myth, what we see is a dramatic shift from gods who walk alongside humanity to a God who stands above it, demanding obedience at all costs. And in an era when ancient rulers were eager to unify their people under a single banner, what better way to do that than by reshaping mythology into a tool for enforcing authority? In the end, this leaves us with a crucial question. How much of what we call divine law is truly about faith, and how much of it was crafted to serve a ruling class that needed absolute loyalty? The reworking of Sumerian myths wasn't just a cultural evolution. It was a calculated move to reshape how people understood their place in the world, shifting humanity's relationship with the divine from one of mutual respect to one of submission. Now, here's the kicker. We've been taught that the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is a purely Christian concept. But if you dig into ancient history, especially the myths of Sumer, you'll find something intriguing: three godlike figures that seem to mirror this Trinity: Enki, Anu, and Enlil. It's almost as if there's a shadow trinity that predates Christianity by thousands of years, embedded deep within Sumerian mythology. So, who are these three? Let's start with Anu. In Sumerian myth, Anu is the god of the heavens, the ultimate creator, distant, almost abstract, representing a vast, unreachable power that governs all existence from above. Sound familiar? It's a lot like the way the Father is depicted in Christianity, a God beyond us, the source of all things, yet removed from everyday human affairs. Then we have Enlil. Enlil is often seen as a storm god, embodying the forces of nature, the air, and the earth. But here's where it gets interesting. Enlil isn't just a benevolent protector, he's also a harsh figure. In some Sumerian texts, Enlil brings destruction upon humanity, enforcing order and control in unpredictable, even destructive ways. This duality, both protector and judge, echoes certain portrayals of God in the Old Testament, a God who blesses but also brings judgment. But unlike more modern portrayals, Enlil is shown as raw and unpredictable. Some might even say he holds a darker power, a force that's not always aligned with humanity's well-being. One of the most talked about mysteries is the Vatican's secret archives. Hidden in the heart of Vatican City, this vast library is home to documents and records spanning centuries. Conspiracy theorists argue that the Church has intentionally concealed crucial historical texts, religious artifacts, and even evidence of supernatural phenomena. Some believe these archives contain texts about extraterrestrial life, while others think they hide early versions of biblical texts that contradict today's teachings. Although a small portion of the archive is open to scholars, only the Pope and select few have unrestricted access, leading many to question what is truly hidden within. Gnosticism, an early Christian sect, believed that salvation came through secret knowledge rather than traditional teachings. Gnostic texts, like the Gospel of Thomas, offered different perspectives on Jesus and his teachings. In the early years of Christianity, the Church deemed these texts heretical, choosing instead to form the New Testament with a curated selection of writings. Conspiracists argue that the suppression of Gnostic beliefs was an attempt to consolidate power and control the narrative of Christianity. Were these texts hidden to keep certain spiritual insights away from the masses? Some historians believe that understanding these forbidden texts could completely alter our view of Christianity. The Knights Templar was a powerful and secretive medieval Christian order tasked with protecting pilgrims and holy sites. Rumors persist that the Templars discovered hidden knowledge or artifacts, such as the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. According to legend, when the order was disbanded, the Templars hid their wealth and secret documents. Some believe the Church knows the whereabouts of these treasures, but has kept them hidden to maintain its influence. From hidden vaults to encrypted documents, the Templar legacy remains shrouded in mystery, and many wonder if there is more to their story than we know. Throughout history, people have claimed that the Church has suppressed evidence of extraterrestrial life. Some say that historical texts and artwork may contain hidden clues about alien encounters, which the Church chose to downplay or reinterpret. Additionally, the Vatican Observatory's advanced research in space has led some conspiracy theorists to believe that they're keeping alien encounters a secret. If proof of extraterrestrial life were found, it could challenge traditional religious beliefs and destabilize the Church's authority. Is the Church really concealing such information to protect its influence? In 1917, 3 young shepherd children in Fatima, Portugal, reported seeing a vision of the Virgin Mary, who shared 3 prophecies with them. 2 of these prophecies were publicly revealed, but the third, known as the Third Secret, was kept under wraps by the Vatican until 2000. Even then, many argue that the full message was not disclosed. Some claim that the Third Secret may predict major catastrophes or even the end of the Church. Others think it may relate to corruption within the institution itself. The mystery around this prophecy has fueled endless speculation about what the Church might be hiding. Discovered in the 1940s, the Dead Sea Scrolls are ancient manuscripts that provide insights into early Judaism and Christianity. Some believe that certain scrolls were intentionally kept hidden by the Church to avoid challenges to biblical narratives. While many of these texts have been released, there are claims that critical portions remain concealed, possibly containing accounts that contradict traditional teachings. Did the Church influence the release of certain scrolls to maintain control over religious beliefs? The theory that Jesus and Mary Magdalene shared a special relationship, possibly even marriage, has sparked much controversy. Though largely dismissed by the Church, some scholars and conspiracy theorists believe the Vatican has information that substantiates this theory. If true, it could reshape Christianity's view of Jesus, but critics claim the Church has downplayed this possibility to preserve its traditional structure. Is there evidence that has been concealed to protect doctrine? During the Middle Ages and beyond, the Church led intense campaigns against heretics and accused witches. The Inquisition, a series of investigations and trials, was notorious for its brutal methods. Some conspiracy theorists argue that the Church targeted these groups not just to enforce orthodoxy, but also to suppress alternative knowledge and spiritual practices. Was the persecution of supposed witches part of a plan to maintain control over spiritual narratives? The prophecy of the popes, attributed to Saint Malachy, allegedly predicts the identity of each pope, ending with a final pope who would oversee the fall of Rome and the end of the Church. Although the Church does not officially endorse these prophecies, many people find it eerie that several predictions appear to align with actual events. Is the Church hiding information about Saint Malachy's prophecies to prevent public alarm? Mount Athos, a monastic community in Greece, has been an exclusive religious site for over 1,000 years. Only men are permitted entry, and access is strictly controlled. Some claim this secluded sanctuary houses rare religious manuscripts or treasures that challenge mainstream Christian beliefs. Could the Church be aware of hidden relics or texts on Mount Athos that it prefers to keep from public view? The Shroud of Turin, a linen cloth believed to bear the image of Jesus, has sparked debates for centuries. While some believe it's authentic, scientific testing has cast doubt on its origins. Conspiracy theorists argue that the Church knows the true history of the Shroud, but conceals this information to maintain its allure and significance among believers. Could the truth about the Shroud of Turin undermine its revered status? Between Jesus' youth and his public ministry, the Bible is silent about nearly 2 decades of his life. This gap has led to various theories, including suggestions that Jesus traveled and studied in other cultures. Some think the Church has information on these lost years that could alter conventional beliefs about Jesus' teachings. Does the Church know more about Jesus' formative years than it lets on? The Crusades, a series of religious wars, were sanctioned by the Church to reclaim the Holy Land. While often portrayed as noble missions, some argue that the Church had ulterior motives, including political power and financial gain. Documents detailing these intentions may be hidden to protect the Church's reputation. Are there undisclosed records that reveal the real motives behind the Crusades? The Church has long performed exorcisms, claiming to battle demonic forces. While some accounts are well documented, rumors persist of secret exorcisms and paranormal events that have been concealed from the public. Conspiracy theorists suggest that the Vatican might have extensive files on exorcisms and possessions, which are withheld due to fear of public backlash or loss of credibility. Could there be more to the Church's dealings with the supernatural? Throughout history, the Church has faced conflicts with scientists, from Galileo to Darwin. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the Church has influenced or suppressed certain scientific discoveries that contradict religious teachings. Although the Church has adapted its stance on science over time, could there be scientific knowledge it has deliberately suppressed? As Christianity spread, many pagan traditions were either absorbed or eliminated. Some believe the Church systematically suppressed ancient spiritual practices and knowledge that might have rivaled Christian teachings. Did the Church actively erase competing religious practices to establish dominance? And is there evidence of these efforts hidden in church archives? Some theories suggest that the Church holds knowledge about ancient civilizations, such as those who built the pyramids. The idea is that these ancient cultures had advanced knowledge or connections with extraterrestrial beings that the Church would rather keep hidden. Does the Vatican have evidence of ancient civilizations with knowledge that predates Christianity? The Jesuits, known for their influence within the Church, are led by a figure known as the Black Pope. Some conspiracy theorists argue that the Black Pope and the Jesuit order wield secret power and may be involved in global political matters. Is there a hidden agenda within the Jesuits, and does the Church suppress information about their true influence? The Church's teaching of Jesus' resurrection is central to Christian belief. However, some scholars and researchers claim there may be a burial site that could be linked to Jesus. If such a discovery were substantiated, it could shake the foundation of Christian faith. Would the church go to great lengths to suppress evidence of Jesus' remains if found? The Bible as we know it is a curated collection of texts, but many ancient writings were excluded, such as the Book of Enoch. Some conspiracy theorists argue that the church intentionally left out certain books to control the theological narrative. What knowledge or beliefs do these lost books contain that the church preferred not to include? The legend of Atlantis has fascinated humanity for centuries, and some conspiracy theorists believe there's a link between this fabled city and the Bible. There are theories that suggest ancient texts describing Atlantis or other lost civilizations may be hidden in the Vatican archives. The notion is that Atlantis held advanced spiritual or technological knowledge that, if revealed, could disrupt traditional religious teachings. Does the church possess documents that connect Atlantis to ancient biblical history? The influence of the church extends beyond religion. It also holds considerable sway in global politics. Welcome to Blessovia Science TV, where we take you on an exhilarating journey through the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of science. We are excited to offer you the opportunity to become a valued member of our ever-growing community of cosmic enthusiasts and knowledge seekers. Exclusive access to cosmic content. As a member of Blessovia Science TV, you will gain exclusive access to a treasure trove of cosmic content, including documentaries, interviews with leading scientists, space missions updates, and awe-inspiring visualizations of the universe, live Q, and sessions with experts. Your membership will grant you the chance to participate in live Q and sessions with renowned scientists, astronomers, and space explorers. Get your burning questions answered by those who push the boundaries of human knowledge. Embark on a journey that spans the cosmos and join us in unraveling the secrets of the universe. Become a Blessovia Science TV member today, and together we will reach for the stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave your comment.